On this episode of Salt Lake Insider, we're getting some video making tips from my videographer, Cory Bowcut. On this episode... Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Salt Lake Insider episode number 12. I'm here with this guy that's making me look very short today, Cory Bowcut with Bowcut Productions. Cory's actually my videographer. If you've been watching Salt Lake Insider for any period of time, you've seen over the last 4 or 5 episodes, it's gotten much better video quality, and that's because of Cory. He's the guy behind the camera, and today we're bringing him out to find out. We're gonna get some video tips from him on how you, whether you're using your iPhone or if you have a big budget, how you can take better video and what you need to consider to make that awesome video. Now you could always hire Cory, like I did, which is a very wise investment. You could always do that, but if you want to do it yourself, we have some tips for you. Okay, so Cory, so many people will not get started and they want to do a show like this, or they want to do some sort of online show, and they don't do it because they think that they need to have all this fancy equipment and they need to buy a $20,000 camera. First off, is that accurate? Do they need this fancy stuff? Or, what can you tell someone who just wants to get started doing some sort of show?
Yeah, I would tell anybody who's wanting to get started, making shows like this, or whether it's filmmaking, like making movies, short films, or, shooting weddings, anything really, you don't need to start off with a big budget. You don't have to. Right. I know plenty of people that are shooting on iPhones and just little dinky DSLR cameras, and they're producing some amazing content. So my first real tip for you guys would be, don't let the idea of a nice camera hold you back from making something that has good content. Really, content is king. So if you had a GoPro, or if you had just a little camera on your phone, those things can set you apart from so many people if you're able to bring to the table good content. So rule number 1, content is king.
And I don't know if many people remember this, but the reason Justin Bieber is because somebody filmed him with their smartphone playing the guitar, I think it was.
Yep.
And it just went crazy on YouTube because he's good. And it wasn't a professional video, but look what doors that's open for him. And that just shows you that it's the content, not necessarily the production value, that is most important. So great advice.
Yeah, and I would even say to, double that, if you shot a video of your dog just sleeping for 20 minutes, nobody's gonna wanna watch that. Doesn't matter if you have a $50,000 camera or if you have an iPhone, no one's gonna wanna watch that. But if you can take your iPhone and video your dog skiing down a hill all by himself, that's gonna go viral. That just doesn't happen.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
like all those damn cat videos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So before I hired you, I was using my iPhone, and I thought I did a decent job with it. It's a good quality camera, but the biggest struggles I had was lighting and audio. Mm-hmm. What can you tell people for getting the lighting and the audio right?
Yeah, so I think this goes for anybody. It doesn't matter if you're making a show or doing what Dustin's doing, you can utilize where you're at to help with your lighting and audio. So for lighting, right now, you wouldn't believe it, but we're actually shooting into the sun. I'm not shooting, so the camera's actually pointing towards the sun. We're not shooting away from the sun. What happens is people think that the face has to be lit up the entire time when you're filming. Not necessarily. I actually like complete shadow on the face when I'm shooting, because I can expose the lighting for my subject, where I want the camera to be pointing, where I want people to focus on. So I get their shadows, and then I turn up my exposure. So if you have an iPhone, if you tap on someone's face and you turn up the little sun dial, that'll turn up the exposure. So if you put someone into the sun, or the camera pointing to the sun, turn the exposure, you'll get them exposed right. Your background will be a little brighter, but your content will look good. So for lighting, point into the sun if you're outdoors. And when there's a little phone or anything like that, just make sure you've got the little dial turned up so you can actually expose right.
Nice. And most people just use the auto settings on the iPhone. I don't know how to use the manual ones, but I keep hearing that it doesn't take that much time to learn those manual settings. Mm-mm. And then you can basically make the iPhone camera the amazing camera that we all hear that it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's apps you can download, $5 to $10. I'll put a link here below just so I can redirect you there.
And then audio is really important too, and that's something I struggled with when I was just filming this show with my iPhone, is how do you get the audio right? And I was using a little Samson podcasting mic, and I would just have it like between the two people or right in front of us, and it worked okay. But for those that want to get the audio dialed in so that it sounds right, what do they need?
Really, you can do a lot of different things with audio. There's just so many options out there. But something that we do that's really simple, we actually have just a small recorder. I'll actually pull it out so you can see it. It's just a little recorder, and it's got a little wired mic that runs to my shirt. So right here, I've got a little mic. We just set it, press play, and it just records both our audio, and in post, we just sync it up with the video, and it works like a charm. And I think the mic cost me used like 50 bucks.
Nice.
So audio can get pretty pricey. For good audio, you usually spend around 600 bucks. So 50 bucks is actually a steal.
Yeah, 600 is not.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Awesome. And then equipment-wise, I noticed if you have your iPhone, if you're just holding it, it's going to be shaky, and you can tell. And sometimes if you're vlogging, like, you may want that. But if you're trying to do a show, do you need a gimbal? Do you need a stabilizer, tripod? What do you suggest?
Yeah, so I actually use two of those things religiously. One, for the show, I use a tripod with a fluid head. So a fluid head, I'll show in a video here, it actually, when you turn the camera or the iPhone, it actually has a really fluid, smooth, buttery motion. A lot of tripods don't come with those type of heads. They have like a jittery motion. So if you find one that's got a fluid head, you'll get really buttery, smooth shots, and a tripod just gives that natural stability so you can frame up, get your composition right, and it just looks clean.
What would somebody need to spend for a decent tripod like that?
I spent around 350 bucks for my tripod. Okay. So they can be an investment, but there are some you can get online that are actually great deals for about 150 bucks to 100 bucks.
Nice. So
around that range. And another thing that I use is called a Steadicam or a Glidecam. I'll show some video here too, but it actually gives you really smooth floating motions.
Is that big gimbal that you use?
Yep, so okay. I'll show it here.
So when somebody's filming, what do they need to do to make sure that they have the shot framed right? And, you know, isn't there, what's this rule called? You keep mentioning this rule, and I don't like rules, so.
Yeah, so it's actually really simple. I'll show a little grid here. It's called the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds has 4 lines, which creates 9 boxes. So kind of right here, if you can see it. Basically, you want to frame your subject on one of those lines. So if you're working with the vertical lines and you had one person in your shot, I'll show an image here. Frame them right here, have them look this way, and it goes for the other side as well. And if you're doing like horizon, you have someone on this line right here, the horizon. We'll see if I can get someone here. And yeah, just kind of play with those, look that up, you'll figure it out. It's really easy.
So you don't really want to just center somebody right in the middle of the shot?
Not always.
Okay.
A lot of the times you want to use rule of thirds because it just looks nice and people like symmetry, and that's kind of what it does.
Sure, cool. And also, I really want to, I kind of want to empower you guys. If you've wanted to do your own show, if you've wanted to start doing your own videos, you don't have to wait until, you don't have to rehearse, you don't have to practice a million times. You know, just go out there and start doing it. And if you can't tell, I'm an absolute mess. My intros are never the same. I don't have a script. I just show up and I do this show. And a lot of times I forget to even introduce myself. So, you know, but I just want to get the show out there and get it out there. Just start creating content, and as you're doing it, you can improve, you can tweak certain things, you can learn what hasn't been working and improve on it later, but you have to be actually putting out the content first to do that. Yeah.
And I would just say, just don't be afraid. Just go do it. If it's something you like to do and you want to have fun with it, do it. Don't be afraid.
If I can do it, anyone can do it. And Cory knows better than most. I'm an absolute mess.
You're great, man. You're great.
No, honestly though, that's just my personality. I with this kind of thing, I don't like scripts. I don't like to rehearse. I just show up and do it, and that works for me. If that doesn't work for you, practice a little bit. Totally fine, but just do whatever feels most natural to you. So Cory, thank you very much for giving us some tips on how to do better video. Hopefully we get some people off the sidelines and into the game and doing their own content, whether you're in Salt Lake or not. It's just fun putting content out there. This show, Salt Lake Insider, I just decided I'm going to do a show. I didn't have to go to some news organization. I didn't have to go to, you know, News Corp or any of this and ask for permission. You just get a camera and start recording and put it up online, and you have yourself a show. So if you've been wanting to do it, I challenge you to do it. Cory's a great person to learn from. He gave us some awesome tips, so thank you for that. So thank you very much for watching. This has been Salt Lake Insider episode number 12 with Cory Bowcut of Bowcut Productions. Did I get that right?
You got it.
Awesome. See, no script. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.